Welcome all. Thank you for joining me. My name is Sydney Newman. Today I am taking the opportunity to educate all participants on sheltering in place at your place of employment during extreme winter conditions. Unlike other natural disasters, winter storms don't often strike without warning. Especially being in Saskatchewan, an area that's prone to excessive snow, contingency planning is extremely important to implement at a place of employment. Today we are going to discuss the procedures for planning activities in the event of a shelter-in-place order, response activities during a shelter-in-place order, and recovery activities for after the order has been lifted. First, let's discuss what a shelter-in-place order is. In the event of extreme winter conditions, sheltering in place is issued when it is not an option to travel safely on the roads or to be outside in the elements for even a short period of time. Generally, the duration of these situations would last minutes or hours, typically not days. That being said, those planning for such a situation ensures that the company isn't caught off guard and can effectively care for its employees during the emergency event. The Occupational Health and Safety Regulations, Section 70, discusses the legal obligations of an indoor place of employment to, quote, provide and maintain thermal conditions including air temperature, that provide effective protection for the health and safety of workers and provide reasonable thermal comfort for workers. The first step to sheltering in place plan is pre-planning for the winter conditions. Do not wait until you are in the dead of winter to start stocking your emergency kit. Finding winter items the minute before a storm is like finding toilet paper in the middle of a pandemic. Don't do it. An emergency kit should include a battery-operated or hand-cranked AM/FM radio and extra batteries, duct tape, alternate lighting such as flashlights, headlights, batteries. Candles would be the very last option since it poses a risk of a fire. Bottled water, non-perishable food items, a generator that is large enough to power the facility and portable space heaters, a first aid kit, basic medications. Ensure a hardwired telephone is in the selected room or plan to have a cell phone with battery packs and chargers. A list of important phone numbers such as police, ambulance, Saskatchewan Healthline, and Saskatchewan Highway Hotline. Blankets, towels, and winter clothing. Shelter-in-place signage to post on all entrances of your business. A list of documentation accounting for all staff visitors and customers. After you have established a kit, create a shelter-in-place announcement for staff, customers, and clients in the building. When authorities advise an SIP, they want everybody to take those steps immediately, to shelter where they are and not walk outdoors or drive. Next, assign a room to shelter in. This room should not have mechanical equipment, windows, or exterior doors where a draft would exist. Ideally, it would have an adjoining bathroom or have a bathroom nearby. If there are a large number of employees, use multiple rooms to avoid overcrowding. Conference rooms, storage rooms, and hallways are good options. Next step is to assign shelter-in-place duties, such as accounting for staff and visitors, retrieving the emergency kit, keeping up to date on weather alerts, and contacting outside sources. These duties should be assigned to a facility manager or supervisor. Ensure that one person on every shift has up-to-date training on first aid and CPR credentials, and is assigned the sole duty of administering first aid if possible. The most important step to being able to shelter in place effectively is routine maintenance and winterization. Ensuring that the facility and equipment is in good working condition is imperative to being able to manage emergency situations. Make sure that before the winter season arrives to have your heating systems checked to ensure they are functioning properly. Make sure filters are regularly replaced or cleaned, and add insulation to basements and crawl spaces to reduce heat loss. Keep exposed water pipes from freezing by installing pipe sleeves and by opening up cabinet doors to allow warm air to circulate, depending on the location of the pipes. Now that maintenance has been established and maintained yearly, it is important to conduct a shelter-in-place emergency drill twice a year with all employees. Furthermore, I would recommend sending out an email twice during the winter months, reiterating the steps in the drill and reminding staff of the procedures. The second step of the sheltering-in-place plan is administering response activities when the emergency arrives. First, announce to all in the building that there is a shelter-in-place emergency and inform staff to stay inside the building. Second, request visitors, clients, and customers to stay and not leave. If anyone is outside, instruct them to come inside immediately. Close all doors, windows, and openings to outside. Seal cracks around doors and windows with duct tape to reduce drafts and ensure cold air doesn't come into the building. Post shelter-in-place signage on the inside of all doors. Seal off rooms that are not being used by shutting doors and closing window coverings. Next, direct staff and visitors to the designated shelter-in-place room or rooms. Once inside the room, account for all staff and visitors and retrieve the shelter-in-place kit. Next, put on winter clothing for warmth and plug in space heaters. Ensure that the inside thermostat is turned up appropriately and is monitored consistently to maintain warmth. If using space heaters, make sure that they are plugged directly into the wall, not by use of an extension cord, and check them periodically during use. Place them on non-flammable surfaces and away from drapes or fabrics. If a power outage occurs and you need the assistance of a generator, make sure it is operating in an open space, use a ground fault circuit interrupter, and plug any critical appliances in with 3-pronged extension cords rated for the load. During extremely low temperatures, leave faucets connected to exposed water pipes on cold with a slow drip to help prevent freezing. Sitting or standing for prolonged periods should be avoided. Doing light exercises every hour like stretches and jumping jacks will assist in maintaining body temperature. Listen carefully and consistently to news alerts and communication from the authorities. Contact your family to update them on your location. Wait out the SIP until the authorities give the all clear. When authorities give the all clear to end the shelter-in-place order, it is now time to issue the recovery activities. Have all members leave the shelter-in-place rooms only when it is deemed safe to do so. Next, contact outside sources to determine the schedule for snow removal and de-icing of the building. Turn on all mechanical equipment to ensure good working condition, but only in a ventilated area. After all this has been done, make sure that you communicate with staff to ensure they all made it home safely. Update the company's social media as necessary to administer open for business information. That concludes the sheltering-in-place procedures. Thank you for following along. I hope you all learned what is needed during an SIP and that the number one takeaway from this demonstration is to be prepared. Stay safe, everyone, and stay prepared.